Ideals grow with development. In childhood, the height which we hoped to reach was lower, by far, than the one that we placed as a goal in youth. We recall that the God we worshipped in our childhood has grown to the spirit we now call Abba, Father. So, as we build onward and upward, our ideals enlarge until they reach the height of perfection, the source of all good, the creative energy of which we are manifestations. From the physical, mental, and spiritual viewpoints, our ideals are patterns by which we endeavor to shape our lives. We must understand the meaning of the oneness and merge our physical and mental ideals with the spiritual ideal of the soul. Our spiritual pattern should not be trimmed to fit us, but we should grow to fit the pattern, whose maker and finisher is God. Just as has so oft been indicated, one doesn't fall out of a tree into heaven, or an airplane, or fly into heaven, but one grows in grace, in knowledge, in understanding, in perfecting within self those applications of tenets and truths that bring to the activities the spiritual, the mental growth. Turn again first to those principles latent deep within thee in spiritual things. First find thyself. Analyze the ideals. Know in what direction ye would go, and with what spirit thy purposes are prompted, that it may bring fame or fortune, or that ye may be highly spoken of in certain circles, that ye may gratify thy own vanity, that ye may add to those things. Do ye say to thyself, yes, when I have attained, I will give this or that or the other? If you don't give yourself, though you make but 50 cents a day, though you feel that you would give so bountifully if you were a millionaire, you wouldn't do a thing if you had a couple of million. This is fooling yourself. Ye are fooling yourself and planning what ye would do when ye attain. Do it now. Begin. For the individual soul entity grows in grace. You don't hop off a ladder up on the upper boughs. You grow, you climb up. You grow to that. It unfolds, it develops with the character, with the purpose, with the ideal of the entity. Know that no entity enters a material experience by chance. Souls are purposeful in their seeking, and it is ever for self or for the glory of the ideal. If the ideal is self, though many channels may be used, it is still self-exaltation being sought. For the will is that gift of the Creator, enabling a soul to be one with God, or in its own wisdom or own foolishness to destroy its own self. In indicating the urges as they apply in this particular entity's experience, we find that these arise not as sometimes astrologically applied, but rather as the experience of the entity in those environs. For it is within the realm of the Earth's solar system that these urges are taken. It is according to the variations in environments. If one is educated in this or that direction, one becomes attuned to that vibration. There is the ability to do the right thing at the right time in relationships to people of various faiths, as well as people of various stations in their life's experiences. All of these are the outlets through which the entity may find opportunities for manifesting that for which each soul enters, to be a channel, to live to the highest ideal that is the concept of the individual. Keep the faith in self and in thy abilities, but keep them in accord with thy ideals in spiritual things. Am I in the right company? Whatever company thou findest self in, use that thou hast in hand and build to that thou desirest. Be sure that there is the ideal and work toward that ideal. Be content in whatever position thou findest thyself. Be not satisfied, for that one satisfied has already lost the ideal or the ability to go higher. Know, then, thine ideal, spiritually, mentally, materially. Do not stress one more than another. For the Lord thy God is one. So thy body, thy mind and thy soul are, before him, as one. What mistakes in living am I making? Who is to judge? Know thine own ideal, spiritually, mentally, materially, and then let thy life be an example of that ideal. Keeping the faith with thyself, with thy fellow man. Know, as ye do it unto the least of thy brethren, ye do to thy Maker. But know that as ye are body, mind and soul, some portion of this Trinity evidently is a part of a universal consciousness, or is accustomed to being, or may be acquainted with being on speaking terms, even with that which is a universal consciousness. There then cannot be one measure for you and another for I, but rather is it of such a nature that it takes hold upon all that is, all that was, all that may ever be. For that consciousness is a part of same. Who, then, is the author of that awareness, of that consciousness? That which is without thyself? Or that which is a part of thyself, that is also a part of that universal consciousness? Hence as has been given by him, we may be an individual entity may be aware of, and yet not a part of that harmony that is the birthright of all who oft commune with that universality of good and right and harmony. Then as ye find that personality that measured up to all of these, pattern thy life, thy relationships to others by same, or study to show thyself approved unto him, laying aside all that so easily besets, keeping self unspotted from condemnation of others, that ye be not condemned thyself.